Hello, my friend. Today I wanted to share with you a perspective that can potentially relieve a lot of stress and anxiety when it comes to programming your workouts and making sure that they are effective. See, sometimes I field questions in my email box or just in person at the local gyms that I work at, and I could tell the individual who's asking me questions has this approach to programming where they've kind of bought into a little bit of the fear-mongering that perpetuates our fitness culture. And that's this idea that you've got to make sure your workouts are just right and on the money, or if you do too little, you're going to chronically undertrain and your workouts are basically an entire waste of time and you're never going to get anything, or you're going to overtrain if you just step over the bounds and do one extra set or one extra workout per workout, and now you're overtraining and all the bad things that happen with that. You've got to get your workouts right in this very tight, narrow sweet spot, and you got to get exactly the right number of sets and reps and number of exercises and the number of times you're hitting a muscle group per week and so on. And if you go even a little bit to one side or the other, you're going to be missing that mark and not able to accomplish what you want. Now, I'm not to say that the idea of undertraining or overtraining or underdoing it and overdoing it in your workouts isn't possible. Of course it is. But this idea that you have to hit this very narrow range in order to avoid these things simply is not true. In fact, for most of us who are just kind of average Joes, this sweet spot is massive. It is a very, very big range, and you can probably program your workouts in a wide variety of ways and still be in this zone of it being effective. Plus, it's not like there's this hard line where it's like, okay, if I do like 3 sets in a workout, I'm good, but the second you do 4, you're way overtraining and everything's going to go right off the rails. Instead, it's kind of more like a range. So even though you may be good more towards this end of the spectrum with much more work or volume and stuff, and you might be, I'm good, but I'm not feeling quite as good as I used to be when I was a little bit more on the lower end of the spectrum. Or you could be in this range here where you're like, yeah, I'm still having productive workouts and I'm still certainly making progress, but I just kind of itch for a little bit more volume and work. So you're going to get a general sense if you're headed a little bit more in the right or wrong direction, depending on the feedback you're getting from your body of whether or not you're kind of overdoing it or kind of underdoing it. And understanding this is very important for helping you dial in things exactly where you want them to be and where you feel you're getting your best workouts. But it also gives you a lot of flexibility so you can adjust your training as your circumstances change. Because there's no set, solid rules about how much you should work or how little and how many exercises you should do that's going to work perfectly well for everybody all the time. But if you notice your circumstances in life are changing for any reason, and you feel you might be better off making adjustments towards either more work or less work, you can do that and still know you're in that range where you're still going to have productive workouts. So have fun with your workouts. Check out this video I made yesterday about having a flexible approach to how many sets and how much volume you do in your workouts. It pertains to isometrics, but also applies equally as well to dynamic exercises. And let me know if you have questions on this in the comments section. Love to hear from you folks. And I'll talk to you next time. Till then, be fit and live free.